Hey, good morning club members, it's Bobby and I'm excited to be here with you today because this is my first golf instruction video of 2021 and I'm going to take up where I left off. And where did I leave off? Well, I covered the first two chapters in my book Muni and talked about the various lessons because some lessons are much more easily demonstrated than they are described. And this brings us to chapter 3, the story entitled Obi-Wan. Now, Obi-Wan was Jitterbugs instructor. And basically, as the story goes, I had been struggling, hitting the ball high and flying right, and I couldn't even get far enough left to even stay in the fairway, and it was leaving my morale in a state of disorder, and Obi-Wan was there to help me. And basically, I said, I've got it figured out today. He said, let's see you take a practice swing. I took a practice swing, and he said, no, you ain't got nothing figured out. Do you want some help or not? And the question is, well, how did he know? Just by watching me take a practice swing that I hadn't figured anything out yet. And that's what I want to unveil today and talk to you about what it is that an experienced instructor can see in a student and tell them right away, I don't care what else, what other swing virtue you have, that grip, that setup is not going to work. It's only going to leave you hitting the ball high and right. The first thing that an experienced instructor will tell you, and what I was guilty of doing, was putting my hand on by letting my palm face me. If you start with your palm facing you, then you can be sure that even on your best day, you're a slicer. And a powerful ball striker is always going to take their palm and allow it to hang where it naturally does, which is facing their leg. This is a contortion. Why would I start here when my hand never hangs there? And particularly when I just want to wrap it back to that spot where it's hanging pointed at my leg anyway. So powerful ball strikers start with their palm facing their leg and they put it on the club in that same way. At no point can a powerful ball striker see their palm as they're preparing to take their grip. Second to that, and this still has to do with the left hand, if an instructor can see your fingers from here, if anybody can see these fingers from here, in your grip, in between your two arms, you're a slicer, and you're hopeless until you change. And I don't mean to sound like any sort of a pessimist, but the fact is, you're hopeless until you change if all four of these fingers are visible. You're a slicer, and if you're not slicing, it's because you're trying to fix it in mid-swing, and it's costing you power and leverage anyway. That is the left hand. Remember, we want to place our hand on there and we want to make sure that these fingers are hidden. That if you can see any of them, you might be able to see just your pinky finger, but nothing else. Now, here's the business of the right hand. Slicers, weak slicers of the ball. Let's point to this part of your hand right here. Weak slicers of the ball like to take that part of the hand and push it toward the top center of the shaft as they set up. That's a slice move, for sure. Let me say that again. This part of the hand, the slicer has a tendency toward moving that toward the top of the grip, and that makes the elbow point back behind them. That's a slicer, for sure. How should a person grab the club instead? Well, it's pretty simple. You take your right elbow. This is the way a powerful ball striker grips the club. They take your right elbow and point it at your rib cage, and then just allow your hand, place it, not wrap it, place it on there where it naturally goes. Your right palm should, in general, face the target. Okay, and so again, the right elbow points at the rib cage, and then from there, just simply put your hand on there without any overt wrapping, either clockwise or counterclockwise. So let me say that again. Weak slicers have one habit in particular as they put their hands on the club, and this is what Obi-Wan saw in me. They start by having their palm facing them, and then they expect to wrap the club into the right spot, and they never arrive at it. Number two, once it's on there, once the grip has been established, you can see these fingers here, and you know that you should double the bet, particularly on dogleg lefts, because this person is not only hitting a slice, they're probably hitting more like a boomerang. It's coming back at him. And number three, if a person takes this right hand, the top of this right hand, the base of the thumb down here, and after getting on the grip, if they take that and they raise it so that the elbow points out here instead of at their rib cage, you can be sure that person, the likelihood is that they're a big banana ball hitter, and instead the right elbow should point at the rib cage and the right palm should face the target and settle in nicely to hit the ball. And so I know that will help you. I'll look forward to seeing you next week as we unveil the mystery surrounding the next lesson. Thanks for watching.